Hi friends, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I fixed my vent fan. So I go over it briefly in the video, but here's the details. Basically, when I first bought my van, I had the vent fan and it worked perfectly fine until about 6 months in. And then it just stopped working. I, at the time, was still getting really familiar with how to use electrical in my van, and I just was so discouraged. I left it alone for a while. I tried to fix like the simple things, like I switched out the fuse, I checked the fuse box, seeing if any of those little things would fix it. But being overwhelmed by the electrical, I just kind of left it there. Also, because on my roof I have a surfboard rack, and at one point in my early van travels I had 3 surfboards living on my roof, which meant that my vent didn't also get used because it was always covered by my surfboards. So I discovered that this fan wasn't working because this little wire here was unplugged. So for the longest time I've been living without a fan, but now I just put the fuse back in and it works. So I took this fan apart because for the last like a really long time I thought the fan needed repairing. I just took some of my volt readers and I tried to read all the voltage. Nothing was showing up, so I was just thinking I'm gonna have to replace it completely because none of this is getting power. I started looking and playing with the pens here. They're all really dusty, so I'll probably clean this up before I pack it in. I wasn't getting any voltage through any of those, and it's been a while since this fan worked. You can see it's a Nomad fan. I was testing all the inputs and then I noticed this one right here, it's like slightly damaged and it wasn't plugged in. Somehow it got loose because it's like a bit crooked. I plugged it back in, I tried to turn it on, nothing happened. I remembered I needed to put this fuse back in, so I just put the fuse in and she works. This fan hasn't worked, and so I've been living in my van without a ventilation system. I'm so freaking grateful I just figured it out. If you might be having fan issues, make sure you check all the little connections, making sure that they're in there right. My brother also helped me. I'm trying to work on fixing the power for my fridge because I do get voltage there, but for some reason the wire isn't working, and he taught me that sometimes when wires get old or connectors, like the little links, get rusty. So you can take some thin sandpaper and sand down those connectors, and sometimes that will help with the power flow. So that's how I fixed my Nomad vent fan that hasn't been working in years. If you are having similar issues, I recommend trying that. Now, out of my own curiosity, I'm going to check the volt on these plugs, all because I tested them before and I didn't get anything. Now that the fuse is in, I'm curious, but yeah, that is reading now. So let's see if I can show you. Now it's reading 14. Before it was reading 0. So that's it. I fixed it. Check. And so the last thing that I will do before putting this away is just give it a clean, because it's got years of buildup on there. Okay, we cleaned this now. It looks pretty new. So let's plug her back in and we're gonna be good to go. So just pops like that. Okay, all of them are in. Now we can screw it back in and get all the things going. And that is all. I know it seems pretty simple, but it was a big thing for me. I suffered for years without that vent fan. And if this video helps anyone, it will be my pleasure. Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.